Here is my plan for 2025. What I want to achieve, why I want to achieve it, and most importantly, my exact plan of how I'm going to achieve it. So why am I sharing my goals with you? Two of my biggest values as a person and a coach is authenticity and leadership. This is exactly where the name Lead from the Front came from for my coaching program. I want to lead through actions, behaviors, and results, not just through words. And effectively, I just want to document the way that I'm living my life, as ultimately that is how I've created the system of how I work with clients now. My previous challenges of burning myself out multiple times, overcoming crippling anxiety, getting myself in shape and staying in shape, and living a life that allows me to feel happy and fulfilled and driven every week. That is how I've done it, and that has shaped the way that I work with clients. So I want to share with you some of the thinking behind it and exactly how I'm going to achieve these things. I also know that following someone in the process of achieving something is incredibly valuable from a viewing perspective, and not only sharing it publicly once they've achieved it, because there's really quite a high level of vulnerability there. Like, I am putting myself out there and I may not achieve these things. But exactly as I would say to clients, setting an intention, creating a plan, and then reflecting on it afterwards, the good and the bad, that is the thing that is going to keep you winning. Not necessarily whether or not you achieve the outcome or not, because those goals are pretty arbitrary. Whenever you choose a goal, you are literally just choosing it. The actual success for you in being able to sustain this long term and become a person who follows through on the things that they say they're going to do, achieves the things that are meaningful to them. That person reflects often, and that is the thing that allows you to become a person like that, not actually just achieving or failing at the random goals you set yourself. So either way, I'm going to be winning. And hopefully you are too after watching this video. It's going to give you some inspiration and insight into how you can do something very similar for yourself. So let's get stuck into it. My goals are always split into three key areas. They're split into physical, professional, and personal. I feel that this is a really nice way that gives a holistic view of you as a person, and it means you don't hyper focus on one area of your life at the complete expense of all the others. So physically, what are my physical goals for this year? My main focus, well, I've got two focuses, but one of my main focuses is improving my running and endurance. This came from the competition that I did document a few weeks ago at the end of last year called ATHEX. And that was a multimodal fitness test where there was elements of strength, endurance, and metabolic conditioning in there as well. And the bit that let me down was the endurance. And to be honest, that's no surprise because I do come from a strength background. I used to compete in Olympic weightlifting at a high level, and I've just had a strength and power sport background. So it's kind of unsurprising, but that is what I really want to focus on this year. I like being well-rounded. I like being able to kind of do everything. And I find that fulfilling. Even if it's not necessarily optimal and I'm not going to be world champion in any one area, I don't really mind about that. I like being able to do whatever I want to do and do it to a good level. So my top priority is around improving my endurance and my running this year. And I'm going to be doing my very first marathon. Saying that out loud is really quite scary. And I'll share more of how I'm going to do that very shortly. But ultimately, big focus for me is going to be improving my running and my endurance, culminating in that first marathon. My second focus is I also want to build around 1 to 2 kilos of muscle. You might be listening to that and being like, oh, well, they're a bit counterintuitive. Yes, in theory they are, but it's possible. I just need to be on it with my training, my nutrition, my recovery, all of that stuff, and I enjoy that. I want to be a great runner, but not look like a weed. And it's possible. Think of people like Nick Bare on YouTube, a perfect example of this. He's an absolute unit and he's working towards, I think, a sub 2:30 marathon at the moment. Crazy. But that chase for me, I find fulfilling. I also want to continue to enjoy my physical hobbies like golf, tennis, paddle, and surfing. They just keep me active. I really enjoy them. I really enjoy progressing in those as well. And they just mean that my training actually has some purpose outside of just the gym. I want to improve in the gym, but not for improving in the gym. I want to improve in the gym so that I can do everything in life and do all those activities to a really high level as well, and look great with my top off. And lastly, I want to get up to 230 training sessions with my whiteboard tally. That is something I found super effective last year, and if you want to see the video, I will link it in here for you, or at the end of the video as well. But I'm going to continue on that technique and aiming for 230 training sessions this year, which averages at about 4 to 5 per week. So those are my goals. They are the outcomes I want to do. I want to do my first marathon. I want to gain 1 to 2 kilos of muscle. I want to continue to enjoy my hobbies like surfing, paddle, golf, and tennis. And I want to get up to 230 training sessions for the year. So how am I going to do this? This is super important. Let's take running, for example. I have mapped out this year of exactly what I'm going to do into quarters. So quarter one, I'm going to be doing a half marathon. This is at the end of March, and I'm currently training for it at the moment, and that is a trail half marathon. And I haven't done much trail running at all, so this is going to be quite new to me. I tend to just go straight out on the roads from my house because I really like doing fast running, look at where my heart rate is, hitting specific paces, and it's just easy and convenient for me to just go out the door. So I am going to have to make more of an effort, and I actually did this a few days ago. I went and ran up the Sugarloaf Mountain in the Brecon Beacons, which gave me a bit of a shock because it is very different. So I'm looking forward to the challenge of that. But I'll be doing a half marathon at the end of March, and a few weeks before it, I'm also going to be doing another mountain run called Beast of the Blacks that has about 3,500 feet of elevation gain, which is going to be savage, over about 11 miles. So that is quarter one. Quarter two, I mean, it's kind of actually into quarter three this, but for quarter two, I'm going to be training towards Man v Coast. Now, Man v Coast is basically a marathon along the Cornish coastline. I'm going to be doing it with a group of guys from the gym, and the really exciting thing about this is, and this is kind of a really nice way of how I've structured my year, is I'm not going to be focusing on any time for this in any way, because the terrain is going to be really up and down. I'm pretty sure we have to jump in water at various points. So just completing the adventure is the goal for me, because I have never in my life ran more than a half marathon. So that is going to be a completely different challenge in itself. So I don't worry about time there. That's actually at the start of July. So that's kind of going into quarter three, but that was what the bulk of my training will be in quarter two. I will be doing much longer runs. Now, quarter three, I'm actually getting married. So that's really exciting for me, and I'm going to take the pressure off there. I'm not going to do nothing. I'm still going to train, but I'm actually going to probably have a little bit of relaxation. My stag do is actually the week after Man v Coast. So that will be a great celebration. So for probably about a month or so, and especially after the wedding and before the wedding as well, I'm going to be chilling out, allowing myself to reduce the volume of stuff, because I would have been training really hard for about 6 months of the year. And then lastly, quarter four, I'm going to go for my first marathon. So I'm going to try find a road race, and I don't really know much about running seasons. I don't think that is the running season or marathon season or whatever, but I'm going to find one. And if I can't find one, I will just go out and do it myself. So hopefully I can find one, because that really doesn't appeal to me too much. So that's how I've split up my year with the running focus. I've got different events, and they build on nicely one after another. Outside of that, I'm going to be running 2 to 3 times a week. At the moment, I'm running twice a week, and is plenty, and things are progressing really well. But as I step up in towards the marathon distance, I am going to need to up that probably to 3. I'm going to be strength training a minimum of twice a week, up to 3 times a week. I'm still going to be pushing and doing some bodybuilding training, some strength training, because I do want to build muscle as well. I don't want to be a weed and lose all my gains by just running all the time. So I've still got to stimulate the muscle growth. And then I'll do like a CrossFit session or a fun session. I do train with my partner a lot, and we just do that for fun, so there's not always loads of structure there, so I'll probably do that once or twice a week. And also I will be tallying off my whiteboard sessions. I've got it just there looking straight at me as I go, and I'm going to be trying to get around 4 to 5 times per week. Now with this, nutritionally, I am going to focus on a few key things. I'm currently not tracking food. I have tracked food in the past, and I've been into health and fitness for 10 years. Nutritionally, I need to focus on a few things. I need to focus on enough calories overall to support my training, because I'm going to be doing a lot. I need to be hitting my protein goals so that I can build muscle and recover after my training. And then also my carb intake. This is so important, because I'm doing a high volume of training. I need to fuel that. So I'll be focusing on that specifically pre-training for all of my sessions. That's just a good thing that I do all of the time to make sure I have fuel on board. And also during my training on my longer runs. So anything an hour plus, I'll make sure that I'm actually having something there. I'll make sure that I'm having something whilst I'm doing it. So that is how I'm going to be doing it. Inside of that, obviously with my strength training, I'm tracking it and steadily progressing it over time, because if I'm not progressing it, I'm not going to build any muscle. But for me, I have a great knowledge, and that's actually the structure that I need to keep me on track. I know what I'm doing with that. Now next, professionally, I've got a few key goals that I want to hit this year. Obviously, I want to continue to deliver incredible results with my clients. I want to do a minimum of 4 in-person client events or meetups, and I've already had one this year. I'd love to build my business up to a consistent income target. I'm not going to go into exactly what that is because that's not the purpose of this channel. I'm not a business coach. However, key thing here, and this is a little tangent, I work with a lot of business owners and people who are career driven. Just the type of people I attract because I am also like that. But the way I approach things is a person first approach to coaching, not a career or business first approach. And I truly believe that if you get the person thriving, the results will follow in any area of your life. So whilst I don't directly focus on like business with people, I do have a lot of conversations around their career, how they can structure their business, how they can structure their work and set expectations with colleagues, team members, clients, etc. But it's because we focus on the person and getting the person thriving in conjunction with putting strategies in place for that their business and career does grow as well. But I just approach it in a different way. But that's not why I'm not showing my income target, because again, I'm not a business coach and that's not the purpose of this channel. The purpose of this channel is coaching you to be an effective human so that you can manage all areas of life and make progress in the areas that you want. But with that income target, obviously financial security and stability is a massive part of it, and that's something I'm focusing on as well, and I have focused on for the past few years. And I really want to get to a position where I am fully booked and I know what my capacity will be. And I want to stop there and only really let people into my paid program when someone drops off. That will be a really nice position for me to be in. And I'm very, very close to it. So I'd love to get there this year. And then lastly, I don't want to work more than 25 hours in my business. This is not because I'm lazy. I'm obviously not lazy. This is because I love doing meaningful quality work that really moves the needle in my life and other people's lives, not being busy and working all the hours under the sun. That does not make me feel good. And that also means I'm not going to be working effectively. As of the time that I'm doing this, I also coach a few hours a week part-time in a gym. So with 25 hours in my business per week, plus the other 10 or so hours that I work in that business, for me, that's a really nice quality of life and where I want to be in the near future. And where I kind of am at the moment, that's a really nice position to be in. So how am I going to do this? This is really important. I'm going to maintain support from coaches and mentors consistently. I have done this consistently for the past 5 years, and it's no wonder that I've made massive progress in all areas of my life. As of recording this video, I currently have 4 coaches. I have 2 for business that give me different ideas and I take different things from them. One I'm currently working with on a one-to-one level that gives me a lot of one-to-one support. The other one I really enjoy being part of the mastermind, and I take so much value from the group as a whole and his ideas as well. I've got 2 there. I also have a professional coach that works with me on my professional development and mindset. And then I also have my training and nutrition taken care of as well. Why do I have these people? Because it stops me from getting lazy. It stops me from getting comfortable. And whilst, yes, I know how to do a lot of these things, it removes a lot of thinking for me. It gives me a soundboard. I have these things because I believe in the value of coaching. I believe in exactly what I do for clients. And that is why I invest a hell of a lot of money, and have done over the past few years, into continually developing myself and having these people support me. Within my business as well, I've got a big focus on developing more infrastructure this year because I want to make it robust. I want to make it last and make sure that it's not always reliant on just my energy, because that is going to fluctuate. No matter how hard I try and look after myself, I cannot push all of the time because that burns me out. And I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and I don't like it. And the 2 main areas I really want to do that in is in marketing and delivery. My delivery to clients is actually very, very systemized now. And I am 100% certain if someone comes in now and they follow the process, they will get a result. And that has been years and years in the work, but it's very, very systemized. And my delivery is really, really up where I want it to be. And this shows in the consistency of client results that I have, but specifically in marketing. Obviously, this YouTube channel is a relatively new thing for me, but this is important because this is allowing me to develop infrastructure. I also have free guides now. I have email sequences. I have a podcast, and everything feeds into the next thing in the right way. And that's been a big focus for me just at the start of this year, but I'm going to continue to develop it over this year as well. It's like building the foundations of a house. That's what I really want to prioritize. I'm going to continue to set clear expectations with clients so that the boundaries are there, so that they know what to expect, so that I'm showing up at my best. I want to continue to build assets and resources for people for free so that I can give more value and make much more of an impact in people's lives. And ultimately, I want to keep all my work really aligned and leveraged. I don't want to be creating loads of random things because that scatterbrain approach is going to mess me up. So I want everything to stem from the key ideas, the things that I believe, and kind of tweak them for different platforms and kind of documenting what I'm doing rather than trying to create stuff from scratch all the time, because I'm doing it anyway. So I just want to document that more. And lastly, personally, big goal for me this year, I'm getting married. Woohoo! I don't want to have overwhelm, anxiety or burnout, and I haven't had that for the past few years, which is great. So I want to continue that. I want to feel driven and productive each week and have a clear focus on what I'm doing. I don't want to feel busy. I hate being busy. A stacked day for me gives me anxiety. I hate it. And I want to have quality time with Connie, family and friends every single week. So how am I going to do this? I'm going to plan and have clear intentions for every week and every day. I have no more than 3 calls or meetings per day. And the reason I've set myself that limit, because I know if I go over 3, I just get knackered. I don't show up at my best. I don't give the other person exactly what they need. And my quality and focus starts to drop. And I've noticed that over the past few years of working with clients and running my business. Only going to do 3 maximum per day, because anything more than that, they don't get me at my best. And I'm also going to make sure I have buffer time between them, not going straight from one meeting straight into the next. That is shit. Don't recommend. I want to have most of my weekends off so that I can spend time with Connie and do fun things. I want to sleep well. I like having my mornings free and more of an empty schedule in the mornings. I really value that time so I can sleep till whenever I want. And then I have the energy and space to create things just like this YouTube video. And I'm going to give myself permission to rest when needed. It's really funny because just before making this video, I've had a personal situation going on. I didn't sleep well last night and I felt very, very tired. So I gave myself this slower morning. I gave myself 90 minutes where I literally just chilled out, had a coffee and had a much slower start to the day. And that created the capacity and energy for me to go and create this video for you. So it really does work. And I'm going to keep listening to my body and resting when I need to. And that's it. These are my goals for this year. And the main thing I really want you to take away from this video is not the goals in themselves. Please don't feel that you need to now go and run a marathon or you need to build your own business or do it in the way that I'm doing it. That is not the goal of this video. I want you to take away the structure and thinking behind how I'm doing this. So splitting the outcomes into physical outcomes, professional outcomes, and personal outcomes is a really great way to just make sure you as an individual are covering all bases and ensure that you're meeting your needs and not completely neglecting one area of your life. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't believe that you can make shitloads of progress in every single area all the time, because something has to give and you have to pull back. I like to think of it as like a DJ mixing desk. If you have all levels up to the top, it's like something's going to explode. So you need to adjust it in different times of your life and what the priority is for you. But that's a really nice way to split it up into those 3 areas and having an outcome, but making sure you pair it with how you're going to do it afterwards. What is the actual plan of how? The tactics and the strategies. That's how you can create a really solid plan that excites you and actually is going to achieve the right level of challenge to get you to grow, but also achieve things along the way. So I hope you found that useful. I really highly recommend you going and creating a similar plan for yourself if you haven't already for this year. And feel free to drop a comment with any questions you might have or any ideas of the things that you're going to achieve this year, as I would love to know. And also, if you have found that useful and you like the way that I do things and how I think, I've created a really in-depth resource called How to Get Your Shit Together and Stay in Shape for Life. And feel free to go and grab that at www.leadfromthefront.co.uk. Just put your name and email in and I will email it straight over to you. Or the link is in the description. So I hope you found that useful. I hope you feel inspired. Go and crush 2025.